Okay, hi guys and welcome to the show. Today we're going to be looking at this phenomenal watch from Visitor Company, and this is sent to me by the owner himself. This is actually a prototype, absolutely stunning watch. So let's get on with the show. Okay, welcome back guys. This has been sent to me by Phil Rodenbeck, the company CEO and owner. This really is the product, the labor of his passion. He's really invested so much into this watch. And so please bear that in mind, that it's very easy to criticize something, but until you've actually done it, until you've actually, designed it and suffered for it and put all the blood, sweat and tears and the money and everything else into it, you can't really. I got to take my hat off to this guy, because it's a very difficult thing even to make a watch. To be honest, if Phil was to do a slightly smaller version for people with smaller wrists like me, I would definitely consider it for my collection. It's just so different. I really like the idea of owning something that not everybody has. It certainly is the ultimate example of a wild card watch. It's just so dynamic and different. I think Phil is going to do big things in the future, because you can really see the care and attention that has gone into making this. So anyway, this is the prototype, and there are some differences. Obviously the final one is going to be a little bit more, there are some differences, but I'll cover that in the review that we're about to get into. But I feel very privileged and honored to bring this to you. So anyway guys, let's switch perspectives and have a closer look. This is the Calligraph Duneshore automatic watch by the Visitor Watch Company, and it's an American-based company that operated by Phil himself and offers a really staggeringly amazing, unique watch that I've never quite seen anything like it. Now, before we get into the actual review, I should just mention a little bit of background behind the inspiration of this watch. The Calligraph name comes from Phil's own love of calligraphy, and you can see this in the beautiful hands here. You can see in these Art Nouveau styled hands here, they are very like fountain pen nibs. So that's where the first part of the name from. And the second part of the name, the Duneshore, is in reference the beautiful sandy beaches of Indiana Dune National Lakeshore Park, which is obviously something close to Phil's heart, and really provided the inspiration for this beautiful timepiece. And then on the back, you'll see, if I just hold it into profile, you'll see this curvature of this beautiful curved display back. This is called the bean back, and this is in reference to another beautiful work of art that Phil has been inspired by, which is the bean. And those of you who have visited Chicago will undoubtedly have heard of it. I'll share an image on the screen. Beautiful curved, highly reflective chrome kind of sculpture that's very iconic, and I just love that he's pulled from all these kind of inspirations to make something just so unique and so different. Okay, so let's take a look at the dimensions first. We have a case diameter of 44 millimeters. From lug to lug, we're looking at 51, a thickness of 11 millimeters, and a lug width of 22 millimeters. So quite a large watch. But and I know I've been on a bit of a crusade recently for I'm a huge advocate for smaller watches, but I think watches like aviation watches, the Panerai, And I think this as well is an exception to that rule. It just makes sense being a bit larger. Now, of course, I would have loved to see a smaller version, but it really does make sense for this design. I can't exactly explain it. It just makes sense. When I was wearing it to kind of get a feel of the watch, my wife commented it's very American looking, and I don't exactly know what she means by that. It's very much kind of a nod to kind of Art Nouveau, almost Art Deco, and because it's such a beautiful case, that's probably what my wife means by this kind of very kind of American looking. You know, it's large. I wouldn't say flashy, but it demands attention with this high polished case. So let's look at the features of the watch. We have a sandwich dial, which I'll bring in as close as I can so you can see it, with BGW9 Superluminova, which applied to the hour and the hour and minute hand, and also the indices, which are all beautifully framed. I'm not sure if you can see that. And of course we have this kind of, I would describe as a teardrops on the in-between hours, and then on the 6, 9, 12 and 3 we have circles. It has a screw down crown and 100 meters water protection. If we look at the lugs, it has holes for the spring bars on the lugs, which I really think is a neat way of doing it. Absolutely stunning. I love these lugs, and the way they kind of blend into the main case is just very elegant. I've never seen anything quite like this before. So we have these little pierced lug holes, which are really cool because it makes changing out the straps very easy, and it's something certainly that is made for straps. It's quite a dressy watch, and you know, you could just dress this up in so many different styles. These are beautiful handmade ostrich grain leather straps made by the visitor company themselves, signed. It could only be matched with a buckle to echo the theme of the main case, and this, even the buckle is beautifully designed. Absolutely stunning. Of course, very, very big, but it just works completely. It finishes off the design beautifully. The main glass is sapphire on the front, and this is 2.5 millimeters thick, so we have a really big sapphire glass. And the dial itself is what's called forest ore, and I'm not sure if you'll pick this up, but it's a very dark green. It's somewhere between British racing green and black. It really is. And around the dial we have just a very small little scale of dots going around the outside of the dial, and then actually in black we have, hardly noticeable, but just a really nice detail, 4 lines going across the diameter. So quite sparsely designed, but the polishing on the case is a fully mirrored high polish. There's absolutely no brushed surfaces except for just on the back. If we have a look at the back, now please bear in mind this is the prototype. Finished version will have a custom rotor, and I'll insert a picture here so you can see what it will look like when it's absolutely finished. And I love this little screw down case back. It's done ever so well, and with the bean sculpture inspired curved crystal here. With this particular is minerals. You know, it being on the inside of the wrist isn't that big deal. Along the brush section we have it signed, and this is, of course, is 0000. So this is the first one. So I'm very honoured to have this prototype. Of course, just imagine when that rotor is finished, it will look absolutely stunning. And then signed Indiana, which I think is you know, a little touch of class. So let's talk a little bit about the movement. The movement itself is a modified Miyota 9015, which of course is a really robust and well-respected Japanese movement, often compared to the ETA 2824-2, and it is hackable, and we can also hand wind. So if we unscrew the little screw down crown, we can give it hand wind as well. So a really solid movement. 42-hour power reserve. It's a 24 joule movement. It has a balanced staff shock absorber, which is pretty cool, so it can take a little bit of a knock. It operates at about 28 1,800 beats per hour. So where is the watch actually made? Well, the origins it's a mixed one. It's designed in the USA, engineered in the USA and in Hong Kong. It's manufactured both in Hong Kong. The movement is of course Japanese, so it's coming from Japan. The watch assembly is all done in Hong Kong, and the quality and inspection is done in the USA and in Hong Kong. So it's really a kind of international affair. It's understandable to make a watch these days, especially to make it affordable. So we have the crown is just left unsigned, which I think is pretty cool because it's in keeping with its kind of minimalist aesthetic, which I really like. Just look at those curves. It's almost like some kind of automobile from the 1930s. It's just absolutely stunning. Okay, so let's have a quick wrist shot. Okay, and here we are. This is a wrist shot for you. Now, of course, on my tiny little wrist, it is quite overpowering and certainly too big for me. But I think if you can pull off a larger watch, it's definitely a way to go. Having said that, it's not overly massive. But of course, had they had a mid-size or a smaller version, maybe at 40 millimeters instead of 44, for a 44 millimeter watch, it doesn't wear massive. I was expecting the lugs to drape over my wrist, but actually it's doable. Also, something to notice is because of that curve, it really hugs the wrist, doesn't stick out that far, and lends itself more to a dress watch because it's not that tall. It's only 11 millimeters, which is about the same as most of my divers. Actually, side to side with the Squire, it doesn't look too big. Okay, so in summary, what do I make of the Visitor Duneshore? I think it's absolutely stunning. It's certainly not going to appeal to everybody. It's probably going to be one of those very divisive watches. It's going to have the Marmite effect, as we say in the UK. Some people are going to absolutely adore it, other people are not. But this is precisely the kind of watch that I would love to share on this channel because it's different. It's something out of the ordinary. I've never seen anything quite like it. I think it's beautifully designed. I think for the price that they're going at, you're getting something extremely unique, something special. It's not just run-of-the-mill that everybody has. The quality certainly is outstanding. Now, this is only a prototype, so there are some differences which I'll point out. We've mentioned the rotor. The rotor is going to be customized. Also, the date at the 3 o'clock is going to have loom as well as the word visitor there. So that's really cool. In fact, I'll share a loom shot so you can see what the final version is. And the loom is fantastic. This loom really is great. And because of these large indices, both on the actual dial and in the hands themselves, the loom is fantastic. So, back to my kind of summary, it's a very individual choice. It's certainly going to be divisive, and I'd really love to hear what you guys think of this watch. If you're looking for something that is very dressy, very unique, that is unlike anything out there, that is modestly priced, that is built exceptionally well, I think that this watch is a really great way to go. Certainly would be a wild card in your collection, and we've mentioned this before. Regulars to the channel will know what I mean by a wild card watch, something a bit out of the ordinary. What kind of genre would this fit under? Well, this is most definitely a dress watch, I think. But having said that, it's kind of, you could do the classic American thing and have jeans with a t-shirt and a Harrington jacket like Steve McQueen, some Purcells on, and you'd look the business with this on. It really is very stylish. It's certainly not going to be for everybody, but if you're looking for something with a bit of pizzazz, with a bit of individual style that is unlike anything, this is a fantastic way to go. I absolutely take my hat off to Phil, and a big thank you to Phil as well for allowing me to have a look at this prototype, and one of the very first one, if not the first one. I think this is the 0000, so just so cool. I'm absolutely honored to have it. Okay guys, so I'm going to leave it there. I'd really like to know what you think of this watch. If you want to find out more about this watch, then have a look at Phil's website here, visitorwatchco.com. And of course there are other colors there, and I'm from what Phil has told me, he's working on quite a few other projects. So I'm really excited to see where this company is going. So it really refreshing, unique design, and I'm just absolutely honored to bring this to you today, and a massive thank you to Phil again. Okay guys, so gonna wrap it up there. Thank you very, very much for watching. Please remember to like this video if you enjoyed it and found it useful, and I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.